In today's VARBAR, we will review City versus Arsenal, Champions League review, discuss player welfare. Is it too many games? Is it not that many games? The Anthony Joshua of football. Who is it? And we'll have a game week 5 review.
Hey guys.
Check complete. Let's head over to the bar.
Yes. And we're back again with another episode of the VARBAR, episode 204. I'm your host with the absolute most, Andrew, aka Rapping Drew. And I'm joined by my fellow compadre, Jake to the Mace. How we doing, man?
I'm good, man. How you doing? It's been a long day for me, but
we'll get long day. What you been doing, man?
My heart has been beating on how many beats per minute, double that. So I'm calming down right now. I'm calming down.
You're calming down, yeah?
Yeah, my heart was under siege, so yeah, I'm calming down.
I say less, man. Nah, I've been good, man. I've been good. It's been a calm week. Nothing too much. Club wise,
How's the coaching going?
Coaching's going well, man. I think this weekend we the team that I managed, we met with 2 teams. We won most of our games, lost one. But the game that we lost was like towards the end. My players were tired as hell. But yeah, man. At least Jeremiah scored 6 or 7 goals, so he was good, man. He did his job.
What foot is it? Left or right?
Nah, he's right. But I think I'm gonna develop him as a defender because I think that's his immediate future. I don't think he's an attacker. Yeah, I don't think he's an attacker or a midfielder. I think for now.
Defender. I mean, the earlier the better, because everyone starts off they want to be a striker.
You get me? So I'm gonna be that. I'm gonna be that guy. Like, yo, use your strengths, and trust me, you'll make it. Just focus on your strengths.
Just have the foresight to think, hey, hold on a second, come.
Exactly. So, I'm trying to, because obviously he supports Liverpool as well, and he was a huge Darwin Nuñez fan. But I'm trying to slowly get him to look at Van Dijk and Konate, and make them look cool as well. You get me? So, yeah, we're getting there, man. But yeah, before we start, let me do some homekeeping. Obviously, since we started posting again on YouTube, we've had like 32 subscribers. We've added 107 subscribers in like 5, 7, 6 days. So now we're on 137, something like that.
Thank you,
guys. I appreciate everyone for subscribing and liking and watching the video and sharing and just pressing that subscribe button, man. It helps, man. And obviously, shout out to the YouTube crew. We'll try and, be consistent and dropping new shit for you guys every week. My audio crew on Spotify and Apple Podcasts as well. Can't forget you guys as well. Shout out you guys for being there from episode 1, man. We're now on episode 204. You know what I mean? Appreciate it. Salute. Hope everyone is highly blessed and highly favored. But let's cut the small talk, Jake, to the Mace, and let's cut to the chase, man. Obviously, the big game this weekend was Arsenal versus Man City versus Arsenal. The top two of the past 2 seasons. Pep Guardiola's protege, one of his proteges. He's got many in the league. And man, analyze the game for me, man, because obviously you're the Arsenal supporter here.
I think we should both analyze it because I wouldn't say
you're of course, but you go first. Innit?
I wouldn't say you're coming from a neutral, but you're coming from like a hater neutral, Liverpool.
I'm neutral. I'm not hater. I'm not a hater. I'm neutral.
Man. Get off it. But anyways, from my point of view, I thought we didn't start the first half really well. Like the first 20 minutes really well. City were on top of us as they would at home. You expect that. I was looking forward to see how Calafiori dealt with Salvino, knowing that this is his first start for Arsenal. And I have to raise my hands up. I think Salvino won that particular matchup. But one thing I like about
defensively,
one thing I like about Calafiori is that he will give you problems on the other side. You get, so it was kind of like it was basically a a big chess match of like you move, I move, you move, I move, I move. Salvino to Haaland. Haaland scores his 100 goal for City and 10 goal this Premier League. He's a beast. And
10 in 5.
10 in 5, yeah. And then we hit back and Martinelli decides to do something.
Good goal from Calafiori.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think most people expected that. And I think that's, for me, Calafiori has this unhidden talent that people haven't clocked yet. You know, that going forward. I think he's that's a word for it. Like something unexpected. You don't know what you're going to get from him. And because he just dares to go forward and dares to do things that defenders in his ilk don't do usually. You know, it's similar to like Guavido for City. He does things where you're expecting a midfielder or striker or forward to do, but he does it. And that's one thing Calafiori brings. Very good goal, 1-0. Okay, now we're in the game. Now we're getting our
You're there, yeah. Back. Now you're there. Now, we're there. Rubbish shoulders.
Because I can't lie, when City scored, I was thinking, how are we scoring? Honestly, I was thinking because I didn't see Javier scoring.
That goal came at the right time.
Right time, I must say. Exactly. I didn't see
it was a shot of luck, but
I won't call it luck. I won't call it luck because
no. As in like, he just hit it. Normally, you would not hit it.
This is why we're going back to my whole Calafiori statement. He brings things that people wouldn't expect him to do, right? You don't expect him hitting that ball with that technique, right, from that player. So hence why I like Calafiori. But going back to the matter at hand. One thing I realized about City is that Pep has a way of nullifying most of your players, right? So I clocked that he's figured out how to nullify Saka, right? He's figured out how to nullify Martinelli. And Havertz is just sometimes can be a
Martinelli's been poor this season.
I'm taking into account last season, this season as well, and the season when we went to Etihad. He's figured out how to nullify our attack. So that goal from Calafiori was basically okay, what are you gonna do now? And that's one thing I really enjoyed from Calafiori. So one thing he hasn't figured out is our set piece. Right? I mean, the first set piece from Gabriel, you would have thought City should have learned that we're going to do the same thing again. And
I mean, they kind of did because they switched Doku with Walker.
Oh my God. That was the thing is, if you're tasked to mark Gabriel, you're not supposed to. You're just supposed to watch his run. The people at the end are the people that are supposed to watch the jump and the heading. You understand? So that's why I didn't get why the tallest player for City in Haaland was at the front post. You understand? Because the ball it's being whipped, right? You've seen it before. That's how Arsenal play. It's being whipped to the back post. You've seen this. Our playbook is out there for most people, for everyone who's got eyes to review. You've seen it. So, okay, second attempt at the bite of the cake. Gabby, header, 2-1. And then, at that point, I thought, okay, we can do this. We really can do this. And we're resolute at the back. Okay at midfield, just because we'll go into it, but I feel 5 is aging a bit. But we managed to be resolute throughout that game. I mean, throughout the first half. And then we go into the dying minutes of the first half. Michael Oliver decides to be a hero and send Trossard off. And I think you can feel when that happened, the game was just going to take a different route, right? And for the neutrals, I'm not sure how you felt about it, but if you can actually be very neutral about it, like, did you feel like the game overall? Did you feel the game overall was fun to watch? Because I felt he killed the game.
No, but of course, but I said that in a group chat where like the game is done. Yeah, because that's why I said, because I wasn't in a group chat whilst that happened, but that's why I said the second half is going to be like the 2003 Iraqi war. It's just going to be terrorism. Donny's going to Arsenal. I knew that Arsenal was gonna do what Arsenal did. Basically, I knew, and then the game is gonna be dead. It's gonna be one-way traffic. But Arsenal with 11 man are super resolute in defense. So how are City gonna penetrate Arsenal when they really decide to really park the bus and camp in their 16? Know what I mean? So it played out the way I thought it would. But just to talk about like that particular incident, because there was a huge a lot of people have different perspectives. I think one thing that we all agree on is that there's a universal rule that's come into play that don't kick the ball away, because otherwise way don't interfere, right? And then when that happened, Arsenal fans, they were referring to the Doku incident earlier when Doku kicked the ball away. My view of it is totally different. You can say I'm a hater or whatever. I'm being objective and I'm just presenting the facts at hand. Doku passed the ball to whoever was there. Whoever, I think it was Gabriel. He kicked it to Gabriel because the referee said you need to take the free kick back. So Doku kicked it there. Trossard kicked the ball. First of all, he committed a foul on Bernardo Silva, first of all. Then he kicked the ball away out of frustration. I think the Trossard one was extremely stupid, extremely dumb on this part. First of all, because you know what happened to Declan Rice. Second of all, you know the rules. And first of all, you're kicking the ball away out of anger for no reason. Maybe either way, he would have got the yellow because, in my opinion, that was a yellow, the foul on Bernardo Silva. Maybe he would have been sent off regardless. I don't know. But that is the main difference, and that's how the referee will see it. That Doku passed the ball back to, or what is that part? But he kicked it towards, backwards. You need to take the free kick there. Trossard kicked the ball away. That's the difference. And that's how I see it.
My take on it is refs, they have to be consistent. Consistency is very key to rules being accepted, their rules. If it's one rules for one and then a certain rules for another, we don't respect the rules and we don't think those are rules because it's not being consistent. The threshold for that rule is if you interfere with the ball, if you kick the ball, right? It doesn't matter if you kick it 30 yards or 2 meters, whatever. Like Declan Rice literally kicked the ball, got a yellow card.
Away. He kicked it away.
Let's deal with
I don't think though.
Direction, the way the ball was kicked, the direction of the ball.
I think it matters.
It doesn't matter because of the threshold.
I think it matters in terms of influencing the referee. It does.
Okay, but the threshold is if you kick the ball, which he did. Period. And then you have to be consistent. But I'm not even going to argue that bit because I think it was a yellow card because he kicked the ball.
Regardless.
No.
I mean the foul.
To Trossard.
Was that a yellow?
To Trossard. I don't think he was going to give that a yellow. I think he just I agree. Trossard should have been said that yellow card. But I think for me is there is lack of consistency. 1 and 2, there has to be common sense brought into the game, right? Because for me, I think when a player is on a yellow, there has to be, again, a threshold as to where you're sending this player off because it's going to impact the game, right?
Yeah.
That's what I think. I think it's going to. So as a ref, the onus is in you, and the power is in you to ensure that the game goes smooth as much as possible. Of course, if a player has been given multiple warnings and continues offending, you send him off. You've done it. But I don't see refs doing that. And I think from an Arsenal fan, and I guess I can't be objective on this because I've seen this happen to my club twice now in the league, and I've seen other people get away scot-free whilst committing the same offense to what I think is the same offense because I look at it at the threshold of kicking the ball. Like, for me, I think that really annoys me, and I believe annoys most of the Arsenal fans as well. But it is what it is. We move on to the second half. Go ahead.
Just to talk about the kick of the ball. Do you understand it from my perspective though?
Your perspective is that the ref pointed. So basically, it's a technicality. That's what your perspective is a technicality. The ref pointed back, so he kicked the ball back. That's what you're saying. So because the ref pointed back, he kicked the ball back. accept that. However, if you go back to the rules are the rules. If you interfere with the ball, if you kick the ball, you get a yellow card. Doku did that. He didn't get a yellow card. Take back to the Wolves game. What's his name did that? I think it's the number 9, Strand Larson, or someone else did that. Didn't get a yellow card. And
I saw that one. That should have been a yellow. Yeah, I saw that one.
Who else? I think in the United game, someone kicked, or I can't remember. Did not get a yellow card.
Kicked the ball away.
Did not get a yellow card.
Yeah.
So no, they're not being consistent.
Yeah, I think there's no consistency across the board. I definitely agree with you there. But in terms of in this particular game, I have to disagree with you and Arsenal fans. I can't lie, because I think it's different. And you give the referee if it's also game state, right? You have to think about that as well. City, you committed a foul. City they are I think at that stage it was 2-1 for Arsenal, right?
Yeah, it was 2-1.
It was 2-1 for Arsenal at that stage. City, they want to get the ball and keep going. Trossard is kicking it away, so you're impacting City to keep going. Doku was not impacting your attack. Right. He wasn't impacting the game state. So that's why I think that's the difference.
2 things. Ref overplayed the minutes given, right? Okay.
Yeah.
And so because he overplayed the minute given, I believe the time when Trossard kicks the ball, he was blowing it, right? The game was over. So what does he get by sending Trossard off when he knows he was about to blow the game, blow whistle, or give a
how do you know he was gonna blow the game? City wanted to get on. City wanted to get on.
Say the game wasn't over, right? He gives a free kick. That's the last kick of the game, right? What does sending Trossard in that match? What does that do? I don't think it does anything. That's why he goes back to learning how. So
it was against you, man. That's what he's saying.
He has to learn that. For me, I think it's no coincidence that we are being held at a higher standard, but other teams are being let go, are being given a blight. It's not a coincidence, man, because you've disagreed with me that a lot of players have committed the same fouls, the same infractions.
But that's what every team gets the inconsistencies. It's not just Arsenal specific.
I'm speaking from my perspective as an Arsenal fan, right? Perhaps every team does have that, but I don't see it. Maybe I don't watch all the games to point it out, but I don't see it.
It's really last season, Liverpool with the VAR decisions that went against us so many times. Every team gets it. Every team gets something. So it's not exclusive to Arsenal fans.
No, I'm not saying it's exclusive. I'm just saying that the fact has happened so many times, twice now, and you can see other people get away scot-free.
Get away with it. Yeah, it's frustrating as a fan.
It feels like
let's go second half. Let's go
second half. You expected Arteta to pull what he did. You expected it because there's no way. I honestly dare people like Roy King or whoever who says, yeah, you have to be this, you have to be that. I mean, I you know what? The only kind of criticism I would give is possibly Martinelli, that outlet. I thought he could have been better with how he how he handled the ball. So I accept that, but I think the way City, especially playing City at home, they're going to dominate the ball 11v11 anyways, right? 10v11 is even a bigger task to handle. Fair enough, City weren't the same City in regards to how they cut you open. That might be the way Arsenal played, or they weren't on form, because usually you would expect them to overlap, underlap, like Spearman, whatever. But we know that Arsenal's defense has been resolute this season and last. So I think you just have to go down the middle and just say, give 50 to Arsenal being really good, get 50 to City being not as good with in terms of penetrating our defense, right? So you expect Arsenal to play that formation. You expect us to drop deep, be secured at the back, kick the ball away. But it was so frustrating from my point of view because it kills the game. It made us toothless, right? I didn't enjoy that as an Arsenal fan. I was thinking 2-1, let's take their soul. because we beat City, we take their soul. I bet you they crumble. But it didn't happen. So I'm very frustrated. I did not like the fact we defended. We had to, out of necessity. Appreciate.
I think there's the one point that you made that you didn't like the fact. Obviously, you had to sit back, and we all expected it. I expected it in the sense of like, Teta was gonna do this because Teta does this not that deep, but Teta does defensive things 11v11. So if there's a man down, he is definitely taking a tackle or bringing a centre back in. I knew that was going to happen. However, Martinelli should have been used completely different. If I go back to like Liverpool last season, where we had 9 men. We played with 9 men against Spurs at their ground.
Newcastle?
Yeah. Newcastle was 10 men, but we played 9 men against Spurs for a large majority of the game. And what we didn't do was like obviously like park the bus, but the difference is obviously let me use the difference of we were behind. Sorry, we were drawing the game and you guys were winning, so you're trying to hold on to your lead, and we're looking for a goal. But what I liked about Liverpool, and even in the Newcastle game as well, again with context, we're chasing the game, you guys were defending, is that we always had that outlet. There was always danger. There was always someone there. So it wasn't like Martinelli was also part of the 2 banks of 4, which I didn't get. Martinelli, he's obviously the quickest player there. What Havertz was there as well.
Yeah. You
need to use them as like the midfielders basically / attackers. And that's what I was a bit disappointed with. And that's why I was like, this might not last. But it lasted for long enough where I thought, okay. It lasted for long enough where I thought, okay. Arsenal, they shut up shop really well. Yeah. But the way you conceded that goal was also horrific defending.
It was
because you can't leave a man on his own in the box.
Yeah. I think the 2 things they did. They switched off, right? Because if you were switched on, you know that quick corner is going. You're onto it, right? Because you're onto it, you give less space. Because you give less space, Grealish, theoretically, because we don't know what he would have done if you acted differently, wouldn't have done what he did. And then there's a man free. It is what it is, man. And that on that respect, just because we defended for so long, and usually in football, especially when you're playing the top teams, margins, man, and the margins came to the favor of City, they scored.
What is this now telling you about your team and your club? And anything change, or are you still in the belief of like, yo, we can still go toe for toe this season, go all the way?
We can go toe for toe this season with City. That's what it showed. You can see City were annoyed the way Arsenal played, and we'll go down. We'll talk about other teams, but one thing Arsenal didn't do today, and even I guess last season, is we didn't really show City respect in regards to the battles, the physical battles. We showed them respect in regards to, okay, if we go press them, just all around the pitch, they would basically cut us open. So we have to be clever where we press them, right?
Yeah.
So that really frustrated City because they just couldn't lil bro us anymore. That's basically the facts of the matter. They can't lil bro us anymore. We have shown them that we can match them, right? And that's why I was very disappointed with the fact that we drew this game in the manner in which we did.
Mm-hmm. Of course, so, it's a dagger.
I
love it though.
That's fine. Like it's fine. It's fine to love it as neutrals, but at least sometimes, like you said, context really matters. When we started the season, we had Wolves at home, Aston Villa away, Atalanta. Well, we didn't know about Atalanta, but Atalanta away, City away. We haven't lost any of those 4 games.
Mm-hmm.
We've taken 5 points out of possibly 9. But no. That's 4 games, so that would be.
You got 11 points. 11 points out of 5.
Something 15. Like that. 11 points out of 15. Yeah, that for me, that's that's something you have to look at and say, okay, that's
calm. In terms of the start, obviously, like Villa were the teams that beat you twice last season. So now you've got one up already. So you're +3 essentially from last season. So I think one thing that people are challenging Arsenal about or talking about Arsenal is about like your style of play, and specifically this season in most of your games, it has not looked pretty. Even with Odegaard in, even with even before his injury, it has not looked pretty. It's been looking really pragmatic, despite the players that you have, despite what we know that you can do. I've spoken to a few Arsenal fans about this, but what do you think about it? Because when we spoke on Thursday after the Atalanta game, you said you don't care, and I'm like, as a top team, you don't care if you play good football or not, or you don't care if you have the ball or not against like lesser teams on paper, like a Atalanta, like a Spurs. So on record, I want to hear like what like going forward, is this the way you see Arsenal going?
Okay.
And collecting points.
We've said this, you've said this. Context matters, right? You're playing Atalanta away, a team that goes 1v1 when they press and when like you have the ball, right? They're a very good team. They are Europa League champions, the winners, right? They beat you at home last season, right? So Atlantas they're no minnows. They're a good team.
I didn't say that. But on paper, you're still like Liverpool. On paper, we are the better team.
Let me land.
You are the better team as well.
Can I land? Let me land.
Yeah.
Right. So we are aware that Arsenal's attack isn't where it should be, because if it's where it should be, we should be rolling over teams, right? So for me, going into that Atalanta game, my mindset was, if we can't win, we don't lose. Okay, because that's 1 point taken away. If you take 1 point away at Atalanta, that's a good point. Okay, so our midfield was terrible. Partey was terrible, in my opinion. Right? Rice was, even though he
was terrible. You guys love to pick on Partey, but Declan wasn't good neither.
Okay, that's fine. You know what? I'll concede that.
Say Declan was terrible too.
No.
Like
I was going to
say it like that.
No. Let me.
Because you were trying to give him. You were trying to give him.
No. Let me finish. Getting cool.
We're recording.
Rice had a game. Well, he had a rest because he was missing one. He was missing a game, right? So because he was yellow card, it was red carded, so he missed a game. So he had rest, right? He came back to that Atlanta game and he was still terrible. So that's what I was trying to get at. That both midfielders weren't at their best, and we still managed to get a point out of that game, right?
I get that.
Let me at least park this plane in the terminal.
Yeah.
Right. Back in the days, we played sensational football, right? To the expense of us getting beat by teams who were just pragmatic, who were dogged, who hit us at our core, which was at that point we didn't have a backbone, didn't have that defensive backbone, right? And now Arteta had, I think, two things. Out of the lack of great attackers, or the fact that the attackers aren't doing well, he's decided to focus on what the strengths are for this team, which is defensive, right? And because of that, it means that we are going to we do look defensive, and when we play our football, the best thing about this Arsenal side is that we're defensively resolute. The wingers drop back and creates like an extra man. We are just defense, and I get it that other fans and of rival fans, Arsenal fans, rival fans are just saying, okay, this is Taliban football, which, by the way, the definition of terrorism doesn't match with the name Taliban football, but it just doesn't match. And that you know, this is the old, this is like we are Tolling Pulis 2.0, Stoke this, Stoke that. And okay,
that matches, boy. That matches. The
I don't,
terrorism football is just anti something. That's what we mean by terrorism football, Taliban football. It's anti something. You're anti football. That police is sticking. Okay,
bro,
what you say?
If the Taliban roll into your house, they're not anti anything. They're blowing off your yard, boy. We don't like if we were Taliban,
Anti-life.
we would be blowing up like stadiums with our football, which we weren't. We're just boring. That's what we are. We were boring.
But do you like it? Do you like it? Do you see the vision? Do you like it going forward, or would you like to see a little bit more based on the players that you have?
Let me put it this way, right? For someone, and us a Liverpool fan may understand this, but I think you just had the benefit of having a very good players and manager for a club who hasn't tasted trophies in a while, and we've been 5 points and 2 points away from tasting trophies. Right now, the mindset is you do whatever you can to win a trophy, right?
We didn't compromise on our playing style like that.
And I think you were blessed with great attackers, right? I wish I can get a Mane or even a Salah or even a Bobby. You get what I mean? I wish I can get those three players. You get what I mean? And we don't have those three. So we have to we're playing the cards being dealt. Like Martinelli's off form. Havertz is just Havertz. He's not a striker. He will play that role to the best of his abilities, but he's not a striker. So we rely on Saka to create and score, and sometimes Odegaard. So we are missing an attacking threat, and that's just what it is. Until we replace or get that better, we will focus on our strength. So that's why when you guys are atching me, I'm like, I can separate agenda from facts. And if you want to do agenda, I'm not having it.
We got eyes, bro. Our eyes matches with the stats. Our eyes matches with the stats.
I agree.
I mean? So it's not agenda.
No.
Just because you're not. It's not agenda.
It's agenda because honestly, if we want to run things, you have to ask yourself questions, look into it, and then make informed decisions from what you can see. But you guys aren't doing that. I've just given you the reasons why we are. You're not doing that
because your players are on form. You're focusing on your defense because you got better defenders. That's why you can't play good football.
That's why. That's for me. That's facts. When I've given you our
facts. That's your opinion. That's your opinion. That's not facts.
That's okay. Fair enough. It's not facts, but
all right, we'll take that, man. All right, man. So Arsenal in their pragmatic bag. Shalom covered the Champions League, so we'll segue quickly into that, covering the games. Before we cover the individual games, man. So obviously, the first game week has gone. Everyone has played. I think the competition has shown like the top 8, and then the middle from 8 till 24. They'll have to play a playoff round, and then the rest will go home. I mean, is it gingering you at the moment? Are you feeling it like, yeah, I can see the positives in this?
Yeah, I think the people who don't like this are people who don't like change. You have to accept change, and I think the only way you can criticize something, especially this new format at the end of the format, at the end of this tournament, then you can say, right, I don't like this because of A, B, and C, because you have it in front of you. People who don't like it. It's how many games have been played? One.
I think most people they see in a vision. They like that at least every night there's like a big game.
That's a big game. And there's something happening. You know what I mean?
Something happening, and it's life or death. It's kind of life or death at the moment.
Go ahead. Go.
Let's get through it, man. So, Juve PSV, Juve smash PSV 3-1. I particularly love this scoreline because PSV fans and players they've just been moving mad arrogant over here, saying that the Eredivisie doesn't test us, it doesn't challenge us. We want to go to Europe. You just get blamped like this. So yeah, good on them. Young boys, Aston Villa, 3-0 win. AC Milan, Liverpool.
Let me just stop you guys there. It's funny how they call us set piece FC, but if you see what Villa are doing with their set pieces, just watch out.
But that's Villa, bro. Are you comparing yourself with Villa?
I'm just saying.
Are you comparing yourself with Villa?
Let me finish.
It's Arsenal. Compare yourself with Villa. That's still good if you are.
Let me finish. My point is Villa are also utilizing the fact that they got headers and they got a set piece coach, and we are also. So I don't want to kind of like digress. But the point I'm making is get yourself a set piece coach. And
no. The set piece thing is agenda. Yeah. Of course, set piece is part of it. It's agenda, but the agenda have to run, bro. What do you mean? AC Milan, Liverpool set pieces again. Got us over the line, but we scored a goal in normal play, and we had more of the ball. You don't have to do it pragmatically. You get me, Shalom? Bayern Munich.
Did you look at Milan's defenders and just thought, how you getting beat like that twice? It's shocking. You should not like. Yeah. I think Inter did at least in Italy justice, but AC, it should not be
poor, man. But I think like it was funny because they started the game well, like up for it. Home crowd was behind it. They scored an early goal. But then I think Liverpool, I don't know what Slot told these Donnies after the Nottingham Forest game, but I don't know if he's been following Slot since then, but that Forest game is paining him to the core. Yeah. So I know the players got it and we just took over, man. It looked like a home game. So I think it was well deserved considering everything. And I think the Konate goal specifically, the header, he wanted it more. Van Dijk, not many people beat Van Dijk in the air, and then obviously the last goal as well. Good value, man. We keep it moving. Bayern Munich smashed Dinamo Zagreb 9-2. Crazy. Was that Harry Kane with 3 penalties?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
And I think he scored 4 goals in that. 3 penalties, and he didn't want to give the he's a pagan. Real Madrid v Stuttgart. Yeah, that game, Stuttgart were good value. Stuttgart are good, They got a good team, good little team. They were good value to take all 3 points, man. But Real Madrid, of course, the quality is shown. Sporting Lisbon, Ruben Amorim's team beat Lille 2-0. Then obviously the following day, Bologna, Shakhtar Donetsk, stalemate. Salzburg, Sparta Prague. Pep Lijnders, former Liverpool assistant, lost his first Champions League game 3-0. Celtic, this is what's funny about this Champions League thing. Celtic, every single Champions League, they just get blamed by everyone. You hardly see Celtic with 3 points, but now they're feeling themselves because they get to play, teams on their level a lot more. So 5-1 win against Slovan Bratislava. Borussia Dortmund beat Club Brugge 3-0. It was a scoreline is flattering. I don't know if you watched that game or saw highlights, but
I didn't see it.
Club Brugge played really, really well, and Dortmund got it over the line towards the end. You mentioned City v Inter earlier, 0-0. Inter played really good.
Inter should have won that. In my opinion, Inter should have won that.
And again, not want to go to Arsenal again, but Inter again is showing you how you can be pragmatic but still play nice. You know what I mean? Still not do this. You know what I mean? Hey. There are ways to do it without 2 banks of 4 and just not having the ball.
We're into playing with 10 men. I don't want to go into this, but
but even with 11 men, you do it, bro. Even with 11 men, you kind of do it.
Okay, that's fine.
Even with 11 men,
this agenda just stinks. But
even with 11 men, the football's not nice.
Just agenda aside, I enjoyed how Milan played. Inzaghi's
good coach.
Tactically very good. Inzaghi v Pep, I never thought I'll see the day, but I saw it, and the way they played was just extremely well.
Even the Champions League final, they were
was Inzaghi there?
Chances to win that.
Well,
yeah,
Inzaghi, he was. He was, and that was, I remember that it took Rodri.
Rodri,
to win that game. So I think we should keep an eye out for Inzaghi. But it's sometimes Italian. To be fair, Italian football managers do go around to the Prem. So let's keep an eye out for Inzaghi. He could be coming to the Prem. He could not. He could be going Spanish league. But I think the Prem makes more sense. But yeah, he's one to watch out for, I think, because just the way he marshaled his team, the way he played against Pep was impressive.
For sure, man. And then the last one that day, PSG v Girona, last minute howler from the Girona goalkeeper. I don't know if you've seen it. Yeah, Kazaniga, I think his name is. Absolute howler, man. I don't know what he did there, but PSG ended up winning the game. Obviously, PSG are playing you guys next as well, so that will be interesting. And then on Thursday, Champions League Thursdays, that was a bit weird, but hey ho. Feyenoord got smashed at home by Bayer Leverkusen.
That's your team, bro.
Yeah, man. I don't know what's going on over there. Even though I do felt like somehow the scoreline was flattering in terms of like Bayer Leverkusen just scored all their goals from transition. But the quality shown, man. The quality.
All I saw was Boniface doing a no look pass.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The quality shows like weird Boniface.
He was doing ish that you would do in training. He wasn't taking y'all serious. He wasn't taking serious. What?
That was his first Champions League game as well, man. Shout out Boniface.
Shout out Boniface.
Yes. Red Star Belgrado versus Benfica. 2-1 Benfica. Arsenal Atalanta, we discussed that. 0-0. Atletico Madrid Leipzig 2-1 for Atletico Madrid. Brest versus Sturm Graz. 2-1 Brest. Monaco v Barcelona, shock result. Monaco beat Barca 2-1. Monaco are starting the season really well. They're doing well, man. But obviously, on the back of these Champions League games, a lot of players and even managers, they were asked beforehand, like, yo, how you guys dealing with the amount of games and player welfare? You know, the same old story that we've been hearing for the past couple of years. And Rodri was probably one of the first to actually come out and say, yo, if you guys are not careful, we're going to retire. And for me, I think that's kind of big for a big player. He's second for Ballon d'Or. So it's a big player to actually come out and say that, because then that means that this has probably been being discussed amongst players that, yo, we're going to flip in strike if you guys keep doing this, because obviously some of the big teams are playing the Club World Cup next summer that FIFA are bringing out, which is totally it sounds good, but it's totally ridiculous in terms of for the players, for those teams like a City, for example. They can go all the way in every tournament, and then they have to then play that as well. You know what I mean? And Madrid as well. So, first of all, what are your thoughts? Because opinions are divided in regards to players striking again, and you know the usual arguments. But what is your opinion?
Two things. It's interesting that the guy who came out to talk about his welfare just got injured, and it doesn't look too good with his knee. I guess that kind of, you could say people get injuries every day, but it's kind of like interesting that happened. Secondly, football is a working man's game. Like that's what they call it, the poor man's game.
Working class
game, right? So the optics of multi-millionaires coming out to say that we are being overplayed, even though they're being paid a fortune, I don't think it would sit well with most people, just because their agendas will just fly.
Just because they earn more.
Yeah, just because they earn more. But of course, if you really think about it and you have some empathy to these guys that are playing and working their socks off, because the career of a footballer is not from 16 to 55 or 65. It's not that. It's very short, right?
Yeah.
So of course, because it's so short, that means that you have a limited time to make it and to obviously earn. But just bringing it back, I just don't think people would like that. However, they're human beings. They are playing a lot of games. They're not robots, right?
Yeah.
And once if you overwork yourself, you will crash. You will get injuries. The bigger point that needs to be discussed, which I think Mikel Arteta brought up, is in the future, would we see bigger squads? So essentially, City having two teams, which they basically do, right? And Arsenal, Liverpool, whoever, like in the Champions League, having two teams where you can say, okay, this team would be mostly Champions League and probably cups, or this team would be Prem, or you just mix it together. So in order to combat the amount of games being played, would FIFA, UEFA, whatever sports body bring in like widening up like the team to make them handle the games coming? Because I think that's probably the
As in widening
solution.
the amount of players you can register for a tournament. Is that
Yeah,
what you
you
meant?
can register or you can have as a club, I think.
But is it conducive to have like lots of players for a manager? Because managers are screaming, we want less players because we don't want to disappoint players, or we don't want to have like choice stress.
It's not conducive, but it's conducive to have this amount of games being played.
No,
Right?
so I don't think
So
I don't think the solution is having a bigger squad. I think the solution is cut down the games.
right. Let me tell you something. Money talks, and when there is more money to be made, there will be more games to be played. That's just a fact.
But
So
but the thing is,
no way are people going to just cut down the games because it's the right thing to do. It doesn't happen because all they see is TV money, right? More games, right? So essentially, when there's more games, you have to somehow understand that they are right, because if these players stop playing, it will affect your pockets, right? People wouldn't want to watch.
exactly. So that's what I'm saying. So let's say if that happens,
Yeah,
the players will stop playing. Let's say the players will decide we're not going to the FIFA Club World Cup. Go and take the under 23s or something.
I mean, that's probably one way to go about it, but I wager that what would happen is they will just make the teams bigger. It will be essentially two teams, and possibly the assistant manager will take on a bigger role of perhaps being like the manager on. I mean, this just, I'm thinking more about it, but I think it would just be assistant managers taking on bigger roles, just because the amount of games, I don't think it would stop. It would only get more games. We're going to get more games. I don't think it will stop.
That's
just
crazy.
Because of the money. I think if you can, you will. And if they can, and if the money's there, they will want to get more money. It just means that players will play more games. So therefore, it makes sense to have more players in your team to play those games. That's the way I see it.
Fair enough, man. Fair enough. We'll be keeping a close eye on that. I'm all for the strike, to be honest. If my
to be fair, just to be clear, I am also for. I agree. I think they should strike. It's just I think it will fall on deaf ears. Right now.
Maybe contractually they might not be allowed to, or the clubs will get huge fines if that happens. But yeah, like we said, they're human beings, so we have to think about that. Let's kind of pivot before we quickly do a game week 5 review. Obviously yesterday, the Riyadh season. What's that tournament? Is there a boxing tournament? Is it called Riyadh season, or is it? I don't know what it's called.
I don't know,
but whatever. They've been doing it in Saudi Arabia. Now they came to Wembley. Just all organized by the Saudis, of course.
Yeah.
And yesterday was Dubois versus Anthony Joshua. Big game, big. And Joshua got beat the brakes out of him, man. It just
dog walks, man.
Yeah, man. I don't even know disrespect to Joshua, man. Respect, all respect to Joshua. But it just put into perspective for a lot of people that Joshua, like, he still box office, he still brings in the numbers, he still brings in the viewers. He's brought heavyweight boxing back in terms of like being the face of it. But his fall from grace has been kind of like where people expected him at this point to still be that guy, and it's looking like he's not really been that guy. So, well, us man from the VARBAR decided who in the football game, past or present, whatever, is the Anthony Joshua of football. And there's plenty of options. There's plenty of people we could talk about. But I've got one that is a clear favorite. You want me to go for it first?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah. So my Anthony Joshua of the football game is definitely Mario Balotelli, man. I mean, this guy, he came from through the Inter ranks. Jose Mourinho spoke highly about him. We've seen him score free kicks from I don't know where in the Champions League. You know, his ability, you know, his build. He was like a right-footed Adriano almost. I think they even played for a season together even. So Mario Balotelli had the world on his shoulder. He made a lucrative move to up-and-coming Man City, spent 3 seasons there. Didn't really hit the ground running, but was still like a favorite, neutral's favorite, a City favorite. But I think, obviously, from there, it was all going to go downhill. He was also a Golden Boy winner as well. Let's make that clear as well. So his trajectory was seen as someone that's going to hit the heights. 2012, Euro 2012 as well with Italy. He played a good tournament, but I think after that, AC Milan, Liverpool, Nice, he had an all right spell, but he is not the player that he was supposed to be.
Yeah.
Amazing highs, deep lows.
Yeah.
The Barry Balotelli is my Anthony Joshua of the game, man.
Fair enough. I see it. Yeah. For me, I'm gonna go with, before I say the name, I will say this. I came across a quote not too long ago who says that careers are not only determined by the talents, but by context. Right? So my football AJ is Romelu Lukaku. And I'll give you the context.
Ooh. Would Lukaku even like this? But I would like to hear this.
I'll give you a context. So let's look at Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua is a 2-time world champion. So he's been a champion, right? So he's won something. Right. When he was young, he won silver at the World Championship, gold at Olympic gold, right? Prospect of the year 2014. And on 2014, he became professional. Obviously, he went on to do what he's done. But if you dissect Joshua's career, is that when he's gone to fight like proper folks, like what you call his peers, the real deals.
Yeah, the top ones.
He's flattered to deceive. So he hasn't done it well. He is beating people, and I think Klitschko, you can say Klitschko was probably old, whatever, but it's a great fight. Give that to him. But you can't deny that he is a champion, a two-time. Right. So giving you the context, right? Let's apply that to Lukaku.
Right.
Okay, cool. Lukaku began his club for Anderlecht at the age of 16, right? Won the league when in his debut, and finished top goal scorer, right? So that's a champion, right there. That's someone who's done things at a young age, right? Okay, cool. So
is that equivalent to Olympic gold or W, like a title, like a what?
I think
the Belgian league.
Winners, it's winning, right? Because it's winning. So that's what I would equate it to. This is someone who's won something, right? And someone who's been a top goal scorer at such a young age, at a big level football, league. So that's not, that's something, right? Okay, cool. He moved to Chelsea, right? And I remember the Super Cup when he missed the penalty and Mourinho was like, "Oi, you're out of here." Sent him to West Brom and Everton. So that's the downfall. So just like Joshua, he lost to Ruiz, downfall, right? Okay, so now he had to build himself up at West Brom and Everton. Did really well at West Brom and Everton on loan. Went back to Everton, did really, really well when he put permanent, got his move to United. Right? Joshua beat Ruiz too, and in the second match, came back, big. Now, Lukaku, we all know how it went at United. It didn't go well. Right? So that's his downfall. Okay,
that's
cool.
The downfall. Yeah.
That's when the downfall. We know our boy Lukaku is not gonna sit down crying. He's gonna, he's gonna try again because he's a champion. He's a goal scorer. His record speaks for itself. He tried his hand at Inter Milan, did well, became a champion, 2-time champions. You understand? So that's direct comparison, 2-time champion. Now he's decided, okay, I think I can do better in the Premier League. I wasn't given a fair shout. Let me go back to the Premier League. Who comes calling? Chelsea. Joshua, I think I can beat Fury. I can beat Usek. I think I am the guy, right? Okay, cool. He goes to Chelsea. He shoots himself in the foot. He fucks up. He's down in the dumps. They're loaning to Italy, right? Joshua has just done the same. He's lost to Usek twice, beaten by Dubois. I mean, you can say his come up was beaten. What's his name? The MMA dummy. I'm forgetting his name now. I can just see the Cameroonian. Yeah, cool.
Ngannou.
And yeah, Francis Ngannou. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, and now he is back in Napoli, trying to come up. But let's just call it for what it is. Napoli, Chelsea,
done.
United, it's done. AJ,
but
for all intensive purposes, in my opinion, it's done. Even though he goes on to, if he does a second match, a repeat, if he beats Dubois, his age, I don't see it happening. With Lukaku, his age, I don't see it happening. Just to tie the I guess tie it in a nice knot. Lukaku is flattered to deceive at international level as well. You know? So, bro.
You know what? The way you've packaged, you know what? The way you package this, I see it, but not 100%.
Fair enough.
The way you package, the way you package this, you packaged it well, and you thought about this, and I respect it. I think the only thing with like Lukaku, I will say, first of all, in terms of the international one, you can say he's flattered to deceive in terms of like tournaments, in terms of like
winning things,
taking his country, winning things, but he's Belgium's top scorer all time.
Yeah,
by a large distance.
Even,
but that's obviously because his predecessors were whack. But by a large distance, and he's played in the golden generation. He's been a main striker in the golden generation build. That's the context. But still, you still have to put them away.
I mind you, and just to 1 second, just hold down a second. Mind you, you played for the golden generation. Probably one of the best chances Belgium could have to win something internationally. You haven't done anything. You can say boxing is a single sport where it's just you. And football is different.
Exactly.
It's a team.
So if we're talking about just him, all-time top scorer,
just you're a striker. Your job is to get goals, and we've seen him when the lights are bright. We saw him when the light, like we're talking about Inter Milan City, like the Champions League final. We saw when the lights are.
So we're talking Wembley, 90,000 in the ring.
Precisely.
He's not.
You see where I'm coming. You see where I'm going.
But
with
the thing is, the other thing that I will criticize, even though it's perfect, but that I will criticize is that I still think like since his move to Man United and him not performing well at all over there, he's still been at big clubs. His fall of grace in terms of him, he's not gone to like a Leicester, or he's not gone to like a maybe Roma is probably like a mid-table, but it's a big team in Italy.
Yeah,
Napoli is a big team in Italy. I mean, he's not gone to like a Genoa or like a Bologna. He's not gone to like a Wolfsburg.
Also remember that Joshua has pulling power, right? Mm-hmm. So he's not fighting in some white collar boxing in Leicester somewhere.
Yeah,
he is.
But is Joshua still gonna get the chance to fight Usyk or Tyson Fury, who are
No, he's gonna have to beat Dubois, and then maybe, right, just maybe, because they might have a trilogy. Because if he beats Dubois, Dubois will be like, I want it again. You see what I mean? Yeah. And that's just extends the time.
So that's the Napoli then. So
so
he needs to do well. He needs to do well at Napoli, and then maybe he could get another shot.
Lukaku? No, you know what I mean? It's done.
Hey.
It's done.
I hear it though.
That's a comparison. Yeah.
Hey, if you got any other if you got any other Anthony Joshua's in the football game, let us know. Drop it down below in the comments, man. But yeah, this has been interesting, man. And there's a few others as well. We might have to revisit.
Oh yeah, I had the honorable shout for Pogba, but I just didn't have enough time to.
I had Pogba as well, but people will be on to me. But busy. All right, let's quickly go through the games. In the Premier League, game week 5 is done. West Ham versus Chelsea, 3-0 to Chelsea. Jackson with 2 goals? Two goals. West Ham with that squad, them players, what's going on? Mace, quickly, one sentence.
Bro, they wanted poison, they drank their poison, let them die of their poison. That's
they need to give us they need to give us kudos though. They could keep the rest.
Bro, they let go of the manager that won them like a European trophy in how many years because they wanted good football. Good luck. Good luck.
Aston Villa in the West Midlands derby beat Wolves after Wolves played a really good first half but then crumbled in the second half. That's kind of been the story of Wolves this season so far. I felt like they've deserved more in all the games that they've played, but mentality, it's all in the brain, man. You need to keep it going 90 plus minutes. Fulham with an impressive win against Newcastle. Hail End, Fiddy World, Hail End, boys. Hey, Emil Smith Rowe, it will be assist, and then
Reece
Nelson scored as well, right? Yeah. So Jimenez as well with a very good goal.
Yeah.
Newcastle, they were unbeaten up until that point, but they conceded their first L of the season. Leicester v Everton, 1-1. Last minute goal from Mafdidi, peak for Everton. Liverpool back to winning ways in the Premier League, beat Bournemouth 3-0. Clinic from Luis Diaz and a brilliant goal from Darwin Nuñez sealed the deal. Although Bournemouth, I felt, had good chances to at least score a goal, but some good defending plus some good goalkeeping from Kelleher. Southampton beat Ipswich. Southampton Ipswich was 1-0. This was crazy because Ramsdale had a brilliant game, man. He was saving everything, and then that last minute shot, bins.
I didn't see.
To be honest, I felt like Ramsdale couldn't do it. I think people were blaming Ramsdale, but Ramsdale, he did a lot. He couldn't do anything about that shot. Spurs v Brentford. Again, Brentford with an early goal. And Buemo, but there's Spurs won. Solanke scored his first goal. Brennan Johnson, back-to-back goals, and Maddison with a clinical finish. And then obviously the evening game on Saturday was Palace v Manchester United. Hey, this is the first time we saw. Look at Shalom. When Shalom talks about an option, that's when you see teeth. When he talks about his club, he's just miserable. But when he talks about
I'm more happy because of like I saw Eddie play, you know. But
he was a bit lackluster though. He was a
little bit, but I think there were reasons. But it is what it is. We can go. Let's dive into that game because I watched it and I had some comments. Do you have any?
Yeah, I do. Now, so for me, I felt like this was probably one of the first games where I felt like United, they played well consistently throughout the game. So let's say at least up until the 60th minute, I would say 60th minute, where I felt like United played really, really well. I think when Palace brought on Will Hughes and Ismail Sarr, that's where they changed. Especially when Will Hughes came on, I felt. That's when it changed, and that's when Palace took more the initiative. Onana was brilliant as well. The save from Sarr was a great save. But yeah, I liked what I was seeing from United, but they just weren't putting their chances away.
Right. For me, my final thoughts on that game, I'll start backwards, the end, and I'll go forward, is that if they were a better team, United, they would have won that game. Am I being harsh?
Henderson was moving mad. Henderson was moving mad. But what do you mean? Elaborate.
I think I agree with you that they played well. They played better than Palace. And Palace are Palace. Palace are not like Arsenal, City, or Liverpool. You know what I mean? Like, they were the better team, and they should have put away their chances. They had good chances, right? Yeah. So if they were the better team, they would have won that game. So with that being said, I thought Palace gave United a lot of respect that really and truly they shouldn't have. And you can call this being agenda, but I don't think United are at that stage where a team like Palace should be giving them respect.
They gave them 4-0 last season, but that was with Olise. They don't have Olise at the moment.
Fair enough, but it seeing that like you shouldn't have given them respect. And I thought once they, especially the second half, as you've said, once De Bruyne, like Willie Hughes and Sarr, the game changed, right? And honestly, if Palace just took it up one notch, I thought that game would have belonged for Crystal Palace. Sorry, for United.
If Eze slotted away his chance, because that was
precisely
crazy.
And one thing I don't understand is why Eddie isn't being played centrally. Because once they took off on Jean-Philippe Mateta, they put in Sarr to play as number 9. I didn't get that.
Yeah.
So I thought
I think Eddie's pretty good in terms of like I think they need more creativity and playmaking in the middle, and I think that's why he pushes Eddie back, and also the physicalness as well.
I get it. I honestly thought he would have been best placed as a 9, and Eze needs to play more centrally. Like when the game started, he was playing more. He was playing more to the left, and I just feel like Eze is the most creative player at Crystal Palace. He's the man. Play central. That's where we want you to. That's where you operate. That's where you do well. I honestly thought he didn't get Glazer, if I'm getting his name correct, their manager.
Their manager. I can't come up to his name or something like that. Not Glazer though, but something like that.
Something like that. Yeah, I remember GL something. I thought that he got his tactics wrong with that. But overall, United were the better team, but I think they could have won it if they were
Glasner. Oliver Glasner.
Glasner, yeah.
Yeah. If United were more clinical, they should have put the game to bed. But Palace had good chances themselves in the second half. That could have nicked it for them as well. But yeah, United 0-0. They're still languishing mid-table as we know them to be. We don't care. Long may this continue. Drop your points, please. Brighton versus Nottingham Forest on Sunday. Excuse me. Ended in 2-2. Nottingham Forest also still unbeaten. Very, very good start from them this season. They're proving to be a very tough team to beat. And yeah, they gave troubles to Brighton. I think they went down to 10 men as well. I didn't really watch the game, but I saw Nuno being sent off, their gaffer being sent off, and Morgan Gibbs-White being sent off. Yeah, that tackle was mad. But in terms of like, did you see the game?
No, I didn't. But I just noticed that they were playing away from home. So this is
in Brighton.
So this is like 4 points now they've taken from Liverpool and Brighton. Brighton that held Arsenal 1-1 at the Emirates. So they're
good.
Yeah.
They're good. Yeah. They're man of pragmatic as well. Terrorism football, call it what you want, but it works. It works for the likes of Arsenal and Forest, and you know what I mean. That's the kind of company you're keeping. You feel me? You're not trying to bite.
Hey, they beat you, man. That's what I can say. They beat you, so it is what it is.
They're behind us. They're behind us, man. Mind the gap. Mind the gap.
It's okay.
Hey, any shots at the bar, man? Any shots to anyone?
What a day! I'll take a shot for the whole Arsenal team. We got a good point, but we could have taken 3 points. And for what it's worth, like I said, at the start of the season when the features were out, looking at the run we had, you probably thought we would lose one, but we haven't. So we've come out of those games without losing any of those games, and that is that says a lot for my team. So my shot goes to the Arsenal team and to Mikel Arteta.
All right, man. Yeah, I've got a shot as well, man. I want to give a shout out to Darwin Nuñez. Not my 9, but I feel like at the start of the season, I mean, this started last season actually, that a lot of Liverpool fans started, being against him, me included. But I feel like this season he has shown himself to just, be happy, not be happy, but he's like, waiting for his moment, sitting on the bench, coming on and trying to affect the game the way he sees fit. He was rewarded with his cameo at AC Milan to start this game. which was met with a lot of scrutiny from the Liverpool fans. But he played really well. He scored a good goal. But his overall play was pretty impressive in terms of he helped defensively a lot. And I think like even his decision making in this game was really not really good, but it was better than usual. So my shot goes for Darwin Nuñez, man. I just hope that, you know, he keeps it going, he keeps a steady face, and he keeps improving. He's getting older in terms of physically and what he looks like on paper. He looks like a world beater. So kind of show it and have less of these brain farts, man. So, but yeah, good goal, Darwin. Keep it going. And we move, man. So yeah, man, thank you guys for listening to this pod. It's been a good one. Shalom, it's your heartbeat, it's your pulse on a normal level now.
It's calm. I'm back now.
Calm now, yeah?
I'm drinking water, so you know we're getting there.
Water, yeah. My guy, drink water, mind your business. Next week, I think this week is we got Carabao Cup and we got Europa League, Conference League, and then game week 6 is going as well, man. Games are coming thick and fast, man. My name is Andrew, aka Rapping Drew. This is J to the Mace. We are the VBP boys, and we out.
Peace.
Peace.